Hello everyone. Thought I'd show an update on a project I've been working on. I'm trying to set up this cellular modem for camping. So we have some cameras set up and able to connect to the internet if we need to. But I got it temporarily hooked up to a power supply with a lead cord. Let's see here if I can get a good focus of the lights here, but I can't really see them. The first one's power, and then the status light. Then there's the cellular is connected, the signal is good, and then the Wi-Fi is the last one. But everything's working. I loaded up. I used the small antennas that came with it. Comes with this antenna for Wi-Fi and the same thing for cell. I've just decided to use those to test it. I have bigger antennas when I go to using it all the time, but that's where the connections for the antenna hookup, and I got some regular network jacks to plug a computer into or whatever if I want to, or another route, another switch. But there's two antenna inputs, one Wi-Fi antenna output. I only have one antenna because I'm only using one SIM card at this point. But there's what I've been working on. I got a fuse holder. Eventually I'm going to have it going through a fuse holder to protect everything. Got the power supply here. 5 amp power supply. This only draws like 0.4 amps. So I'm gonna have enough room to, I got another couple more outputs here. I'm gonna go to some cameras with these outputs, and then I mounted this low, and this back panel is going to 12 by 12 junction box. So up here I have an option. Eventually maybe I'll do external antennas, and I'll get rid of those, and there can be more components on top, maybe some switches that are I can connect to turn stuff on and off from remote if I need to. But I got a little bit more room on the stand rail here to mount more components if I need to. But that's this. I'll let I want to go now that I told you what I got here. I don't know if you can read, but this cellular Wi-Fi router is made by Inhand. It's an IR302. It has some digital inputs and outputs. I can monitor stuff remotely. I could have some switches and triggers remotely that would turn on and off and send me an alert through email or text message if something was triggered, or if something was triggered I could make something else turn on or off remotely. I used. I'll post links to everything I used here. There's random hardware I won't post, but if there's anybody has questions about the hardware I used, I can go in more detail. Send me a message. But I got this 12-volt power supply on Amazon. I got the router, Inhand router on Amazon. And for a network card or a SIM card, I went with Flexiboom. I saw another person using them, and they seem to work really well for other people, so I decided I would try them. And I was able to connect to this router with my phone and go on YouTube and watch a video on YouTube. And it was more than fast enough for me to watch a YouTube video in really good quality. This is going to go in a 12x12 junction box. I've got 4 mounting holes. I bolted this on here, so that is steady on there. I'll have a little bit of room to get my hands in here to add wires here if I need to. I can add. I'm thinking about some switches I can control remotely, maybe up here on the top. I know of some manufacturers. I bought one on Amazon one time for a project, and the Wi-Fi switch, Wi-Fi cable switch, I could put it right up here, and I could control lights and everything. If something was triggered by these digital inputs and outputs, I could have that turn some stuff on or off. Pretty simple. The router is very easy to configure. I didn't even come with instructions. It's kind of I guess if you're getting this type of router, you probably should have some knowledge of what you're doing. Unfortunately, you have to download the manual if you need it. But that's one great way to get a connection if you're remote and you have some sort of cell signal. You could also, these jacks are standard. See if you can see that. They're standard SMA antenna jacks. You can actually get, I've actually got, you can get antennas with amplifiers and antennas that you can mount in a tree, or you can put them on a pole or on a roof, whatever you wanted to mount them on. It's great to have them connections to be able to have an antenna that you can bring with you, have with an amplifier. If your signal is poor, you could have a very poor signal and amplify it to make this used remotely. Great thing about this is it's 12 volts power it with a deep cycle battery remotely, hook it up to a camper, plug it in a cigarette lighter, jack in a vehicle. But I think I'm not really sure what else I can share about this, but I think if you got something like this, I'm gonna use it for camp. I'm gonna put some Wi-Fi cameras on it. I'm gonna have some remote switches. That way I can just go online, check cameras anytime I want, get alerts if there's activity. And if we're at camp, this Flexiboom card, it's like $120, right around there, I think. I will post a link, you can check it out. But 24 gigabytes, and that, in worst case, I just get another card, buy another card, or not buy another card, but I'll reactivate it if I run out. But I think 24 gigs ought to do quite a bit. If we wanted to watch a movie, worst case, we'll watch a movie and we have to, a few times after watching a movie, we have to get a new card. But card, the $120 card, I think is $120 something. That card is good for the whole year. So if you just use a little bit at a time, you're good for the year. This is just test purposes. I'm thinking I might want a heavy duty external antenna for the when I mount this outside in the junction box. But hopefully I can add some components here and make this thing do quite a few different things. Mostly just having the internet capability so I can keep an eye on things. I do have to see how much cellular data is used just leaving it online, not connecting to anything. There might be some little, the router might actually just try and send some data occasionally to keep the data link online. We'll have to see how that goes. Thanks for watching. Any questions? Like I said, links will be in the description for the power supply, the router, and the Flexiboom data card. Hopefully this helps somebody wanting to get internet, or like here there's nothing, although there's cell phone service, but there's nothing for internet unless you go with satellite or something like that, which for the amount I'm going to use it, I'm not really wanting to pay over $100 a month. So this will be a little bit better, but appreciate watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I do camping videos. Sometimes I do stuff with technology. And since this is going to be used at camp, I figured it'd be good. I hear people all the time looking for internet solutions in remote locations. So I figured that would be a good thing that somebody could use. But have a nice day.